cannot stop using your phone. There's nothing that you can do about it. I don't believe in all of those, using the dumb phone things or doing the internet fast for a brief period of time to like reset your dopamine. I've kind of figured out that we're all too far gone. There's no way that we can stop using this technology, and even if you did get a phone with less stuff, it wouldn't really. You can't do it. The outside friction is too much. I've said for years that I've wanted to stop using my phone, to get like a flip phone or something and just use text and just use calls. But there's something that I didn't realize, and I don't think a lot of other people that are trying to do this realize. So I'm gonna try to explain it here. So I went through. It's like, okay, what things do I need, or do I feel that are part of my lifestyle that I would want to preserve? Obviously, I want to get rid of social media. You want to get rid of short form content, maybe even YouTube. I can watch anything I can watch or do using my laptop. Get that off the phone and still put it on the laptop so it's intentional, right? Inevitably, you come, okay, right? So I can be fine getting rid of a lot of things. I need to text, I need to call, right? Well, I might need to use a map, right? So I might need Google Maps or something, which kind of makes it so I can't just use a flip phone. I need to have some sort of application on it. But I also need to listen to music because I'm a really big music listener. But I use Spotify. I don't use physical music or iTunes or anything, or MP3 files, MP4 files. I used to, but if I did that, I'm like, okay, then if I moved away from Spotify, I would be giving up so much of my listening taste and the ability to find that new music like that. It would involve a lifestyle change that I don't know if would be worth it, because Spotify and find new music does give me so much back to my life. So I started looking. I was like, there's dumb phones that can have a map and can have Spotify, and then I just kind of realized I'm just trying to like make my own custom smartphone, because once you add Spotify and maps and everything else, you're really just recreating a smartphone. And even if you don't have all those other things, okay, well, I'm gonna have Spotify and like a dumb phone that's hard to move. I'm not having the same Spotify experience then, am I? Right? Because it's hard to scroll, it's hard to use, which is intentional for the dumb phone, right? But it's just like difficult to use. And then think about it. What is the real reason why I wanted to get rid of the smartphone? And one of the things is I wanted to be in touch in my daily life constantly and not pulled to another device. And even if I did have this magical, dumb Spotify plus Maps phone, if I'm navigating, I'm still going to have the maps. And if I'm walking around, I would still have the Spotify. So what is it that I'm really getting rid of? Just not being able to go on Instagram or YouTube? And I feel like it doesn't matter, because I feel like the Spotify and the maps and anything else that you say that I need is already something that's pulling your brain. It's already pulling you out of the moment. You're like, I can do this while waiting in line. I can listen to this music, or I can find the next place to go. It's already taking you out of the moment, which was the whole point of the dumb phone, was to bring you back in the moment. So I recognized in trying to make the perfect dumb phone, I was unable to give up some of the fundamental things that I do enjoy about a smartphone, which is antithetical to the concept of the dumb phone, right? So basically realize, okay, if I just text and call, that would be it. I would be changing my lifestyle drastically, listening to music less, whatever. And I have done this for periods of time. And there were periods of time where I didn't have access to a streaming service or whatever. And I was fine, like I lived, but I look, because I had it in between. I'm like, yeah, I look back at that time, like, yeah, I wish I did listen to more music. Like, I genuinely feel that. And so the problem is that once you open, it is Pandora's box, because once you open it, you can't put it back in, because you fundamentally can see now that there's something that I can bring to my life that will give it so much more color than before. But the problem is exactly that. You can't put it away. You can't go back to having less color in your life, because it will cost so much more effort, and you have this society around you that's pulling you to go in that direction. I want to share Spotify playlists with someone. I need to look up a map. I need to scan this QR code. Even if you restricted yourself down, there are outside forces that are pulling you out. And then you'd have to, okay, well, I want to get an MP3 player for the music, and then I would, look at maps more, and then I could bring the MP3 player, but then the MP3 player, because I know what it's like to listen to music all the time, it would replace the idea of a phone and Spotify, and so I would still use that. And I just ultimately realized what it is that I really want. What it is I really want is that I have been raised and born in a time where these things were still tools, and when they weren't part of our being. Now, I even thought about getting a smartwatch, right? And I can stream music from my smartwatch. Theoretically, have a map on it, right? I'll limit notifications, whatever. I'll text on it. I'll get rid of my phone. I'll just use like a digital SIM card, an eSIM card on my smartwatch, and I'll just use that. And I started to imagine it, and what I felt is just having that screen on my wrist. I can imagine what the pull feels like. I mean, I still feel that pull to like, let me see what's going on. Even if, like, let me just check my email. Let me just see if there's any notification or anything at all. And that's where the problem is. Because even when I've restricted my phone and only had like 5 apps, I still check the email. I still want to see if something's happening. I still feel that need to be plugged in. And you can't get rid of that need to feel plugged in just by getting rid of technology, because that need is pervasive in our society. It's screens everywhere, TV screens in the gym, at work, the news is playing. There's always something that says you need to be clocked in, otherwise you're going to be ripped away. Only one way that I can imagine this working is if you already have a very, very rich, deep community that you can already feel plugged into all the time. And so you kind of satisfy that desire with like, okay, my friends, they let me know about this, and I go out and see them. But with the way that most people's lives are oriented, that's, if I can only get off my phone if I have like the ideal perfect like social life that I want, and all of my life, my work, my hobbies are all in great unison with each other. If that's the only situation where I can like get rid of this weird connection with technology, something's wrong. Something's terribly wrong. So every time I go back on there now, I've kind of realized I can't get rid of my phone, and maybe I won't ever really stop being pulled to it. It provides me things, of course, but there's no doubt in my mind that the amount that I could have done with my life if I hadn't had this phone siphoning off like my krill to the techno capital, as J-Reg says, would have been so much more compared to now, when I'm just little moments are taken away from the phone. Just its existence, the knowledge in my mind, the little being of, even when I'm enjoying a moment, the little being that says, oh, but there's a phone here. What if I should take a picture? And I always resist that. I'm like, no, I won't do it. But it's still saying something. It's still taking you out. It's still saying, but why not? What if you want to show this to someone? I already be playing in my head, and it's already infested me, and I can't get rid of it. So, I guess we are cyborgs. I'm connected to my phone, whether I want to be or not. And unfortunately, I don't know if we can develop a relationship with this technology where it is wholly symbiotic. I think it's always going to be mutualistic for the phones and for the internet. It's always going to be taking something from us. And now, what to do with that? I don't think there's a good answer, but honestly, I think the best answer is you can't get rid of it. It's like a drug. I mean, it's always gonna, it'd be easy if like the phones were like hard to get, and like, no, it's everywhere and everyone has one. You can access it anywhere, right? I think the answer is to build up the aspects of our lives that were so important before we had this technology to pull us in. Like the real life community, and slowly, I don't think we'd be able to get rid of it, but replacing those little itches of like, I want to talk to someone, or I want to see what's up with like the world, and so I'm going to go on YouTube and watch a video, and replacing that with, I do want to hear someone's voice. I do want to get ideas. Let me go outside in the world to a community that I know, that I'm a part of, and let me go engage with those people. And slowly, and I think we're going to need to consciously, every individual, to push for that. And I don't think it's going to be a winning battle. I think that's the only way to create this tension, to separate enough of it out that I'm not completely possessed by this device, to always know that it is always trying to steal something from me, and the most valuable thing I have is trying to take my time, it's trying to take my life force from me, and it's just to continue to like violently fight back and say, no, I'm going to do as much as I can to reclaim that part of my life. It's very strange, but I think this is the beginning of not being human anymore. We're moving from being human to being something else. Ultimately, I think the beginning that humanity started using tools. I think we started transcending what it meant to be human, because tools have always become an extension of ourselves. But I think we're really moving beyond that, where we use our tools start using us in ways that we cannot manage. Tools have always used us changed us in many different ways. But now the power lies not in the interaction between human and tool, which is how it was before. Most things are interactions like that. But now it's a lopsided interaction, where the thing on the other side has more power than our psychological capability and our societal and cultural capability to manage. And so this is the beginning, of becoming cyborgs. Not in a literal sense, but like in a figurative sense of part of us lives on the technology. The technology has embedded itself in our minds. So I think it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna grow more, which is why I do think it's so important to, you never have a good, perfect relationship with it, but you tolerate it, and fight back where it is possible to. Because this technology and everything it's only going to get better and better, and you want to be one of the people that when it gets so bad that you have the capability to resist the next thing before it takes you over.